As a student myself, I've tried countless study methods over the years, some of which have worked wonders for me, whereas others, not so much. Now obviously, as a fellow student but also as jspark, I want you to achieve the positives rather than the negatives. So with that, here are the most popular and controversial studying methods, where I'll be sharing my personal experience and giving them an honest ranking in this tier list. Bam! No more yap, no more BS. Let's start with the first. Pomodoro. Bum, bum, bum. Now, me and Pomodoro go way back, and I like to apologize for calling Pomodoro in one of my previous videos. I apologize for absolutely nothing because Pomodoro is still mid as ever. Pomodoro method, in case you guys don't know, is a really popular study method. It's study for 25 minutes, rest for 5 minutes. Then you repeat that over and over again. And this may have worked when you were in like year 4 and you're doing your 3 times table as your homework and studying. But let's be real, as students and whatever you're studying right now, who is able to lock in and study and focus and get anything done in 25 minutes? Nowadays, like one of my maths questions takes me like 30 minutes to do by themselves. And so sitting down and trying to get into the zone. So you're like locking in and like you're about to reach the zone, but then you stop because 25 minutes is up, your tomato like timer went off, and so you stop studying. Imagine how stupid that would be. And it's proven again and again by research that, especially when you're doing more demanding and more mentally challenging tasks, which is what like studying will become when you become as old as me, it's really inefficient. And plus, let's be real, Cal Newport literally says that sitting down and focusing on one singular topic or task and doing deep work for around 60 to 90 minutes is the most effective because that's when you're getting the most focus. So sitting down and trying to get into the zone just to interrupt it with a 5-minute break, which, let's be real, what is a 5-minute break gonna do, bro? This ain't a team factory. All of this is really ineffective, and research time and time again shows this to be true. F tier. But some of you might be now saying, oh, just do the 50-10 Pomodoro, which is the second most popular like variant of the Pomodoro technique, which obviously, as the name suggests, 50 minutes of studying for 10 minutes of rest. And I agree that this is better. You might actually get something done within those 50 minutes now. But the real reason that Pomodoro is still Pomidoro, because it's not even a study method to begin with. Imagine someone asks you,
oh, what are you training in the gym today?
And you say,
oh yeah, today I'm doing the 60 minutes.
Boy, what the? 50-10 is just the time. What are you actually going to do during those 50 minutes? So actually, Pomodoro might be really good if you pair it with some of the other study techniques that I'm going to show you later. For example, like doing past papers during those 50 minutes. So actually just looking in, doing 50 minutes of past papers and 10 minutes of rest is probably a good way of studying. But the reason that it's a good way of studying and it's studying efficiently isn't because of Pomodoro. Pomodoro isn't a study method. It's only effective when you're going to be pairing it with another study technique and doing it for a chosen subject or specific topic. And so Pomodoro is a solid F tier, but C tier if it's used with other techniques. Chapter 2. Lingoda. Learning a language is something that most students have to do. If you're watching, chances are you do too. And don't ask me why, but it is really fun and rewarding to do so, and probably most of us have to anyway. For me personally, I wanted to get good at French because yes, I had to do it for GCSEs, but I also really wanted to go on this exchange trip that was offered by the school. But learning languages isn't easy because it's one of the few subjects that cramming and just reading the textbook doesn't work, because it's a really practical, hands-on, long-term thing that you have to learn. The best way to learn a language is through immersion. You have to speak the language, you have to listen to the language, you have to expose yourself to the language a lot. And immersion in itself is an S tier study method. But even though I know this, and a lot of students know this, it's hard to actually apply this in real life. I'd find it really difficult to like speak French often, and my learning rate stayed low. But that's where the kind sponsor of today's video, Lingoda, comes into play. Lingoda is a supportive human-led online language school that offers flexible learning paths to help each language learner reach their goals. The best part is that you're really challenged by the human instructor-led classes, and you get asked on to speak the language a lot, where they really force you to get hands-on. But that's exactly the point. It seems scary, but the classes are really all supportive, and it forces you to engage with the language. And it also directly improved my French skills. They offer a sprint and flex learning options, with flex being a flexible long-term option, taking at your pace, where a sprint is kind of like an intensive course. It's a 2-month challenge to accelerate your language learning journey. You take multiple classes a week, and you stay motivated for a big prize at the end. Et si tu es aussi un étudiant et souhaites apprendre le français, essaie Lingoda. Lingoda is S tier for sure. Learn smarter, not harder. Lingoda's courses make language learning easier. Click my link below to save €20 or equivalent when signing up. But anyway, back to the video. And the third study technique are flashcards. A very underrated technique. Flashcards basically came from the study technique where you literally cut out a piece of card, you write down like a definition of the thing you want to remember on one side and the answer on the other side. And although nowadays it is kind of like negative aura to be carrying a real paper cards everywhere and chant it to yourself while people stare at you. Fun fact, I also once used to do this and I dropped them at school and it was kind of sad, but I actually did use flashcards a lot during my GCSEs, and they carried me to get these results. Ta-da! Bam! And obviously, I opted for an app on my phone for the flashcards because I wanted to be cool and nonchalant. But also, since as students we carry our phone with ourselves always, I had my flashcards also with me always. And so obviously there's the benefit that flashcards, as research shows, is a great form of active recall, retrieval practice, spaced repetition. The thing that you need to worry about is basically it's proven that they work. You know that if you're doing the study technique, you are learning. And so then it just comes down to you doing this often. And as I said, because it's on your phone, you're going to be doing it often. Do it throughout the days, clock in those minutes, and that's going to get you the knowledge that you need. On the way to school, on the toilet, while brushing your teeth, you can snag an extra piece of vocab, formula, or even structures and diagrams, which I remembered, and they added up to a lot. This is a solid A tier. And the fourth one are past papers, and my oh my, I've probably said past papers so many times throughout all the videos on my channel, and we'll find where this is going to go, straight to S tier. Past papers, where do I even begin? Past papers are like sneaking into the exam hall the day before the exam to see what the questions are about. But legit, no cheats. Since past papers are just the previous year series of the exams that have already been done before, the question formats and styles are similar, the timing is similar, you're doing retrieval practice, active recall, you're learning off the mark scheme, literally what the examiners will use to mark your test, you're testing your knowledge. You get used to the pressure. You practice your induction and deduction skills that are required for the exact exam you're going to do. Just search up your exam board plus subject plus past papers to find them online and spam them again and again and again. It's like in the video game where you need to slay the dragon. Imagine you could try that, practice that level again and again and again. You're going to be great at that specific level. And because of the specificity that past papers provide, it's a S tier. It's an S tier study technique that everyone should do. And the fifth study technique is studying with music. And now this is an interesting one, because for me, I'm kind of a nerd and I listen to Rachmaninoff and Frédéric Chopin in my free time. As you can see from my Spotify Wrapped, I was a top 0.1% of a composer that's not even alive. So listening to actually low volume classical music was actually really helpful in my studying because it helped me lock in a lot of the time. And studies actually, I found out later, prove this. But I also found out the reason that this actually worked for me was because classical music doesn't have lyrics. When you listen to lyrical songs, so your typical like, what's your ETA? Basically like editor will put the study on screen, but when the word from your book, so what you're studying, and the word from the lyric like is going into like your ear, so like words going into your ear and words going into your eyes at the same time, they start to like sort of merge in your brain, and you don't want that, right? You don't want to start like writing what's your ETA on your like past like on your test during the exam, right? And so studying with music is good, but only if the music doesn't have lyrics in it, right? But again, studying with music isn't really a study technique either, because it's kind of like something you pair with another study technique. So just like Pomodoro, you probably need to pair it with another, past papers being a good one, flashcards being a good one. But it's also good in establishing a routine to studying, which is something that James Clear talks about. And so in my experiences, it's pretty good. Someone asked me in the comments a while back, like what I think about like brown, pink, white, candy floss noise and like 420 hertz noises, but I've never tried it myself, but I've seen like this smart Hong Kong kid in my class who does that while studying, and it doesn't have lyrics, it probably does the same effect, so yeah, it's probably pretty good. B tier. And the sixth one is, and the sixth study technique is reading notes, and this is actually the most popular study technique done by students. Are you serious right now, bro? If you're in 2025 and you've been watching study videos, you've clicked on this video, and you really thought that I was gonna say rereading your notes is a good study technique, bro, get out. Yeah. You're better off literally watching Netflix and not studying than reading your notes, because this does nothing. Like, editor, put the research on the screen. Like, this is actually the worst thing you can do. It gives you the impression that you're being productive, but look at this, you only retain 10% of what you actually read. Yeah, it's so over for you. Like, there's not much more to be said, because it gives you the illusion that you think you're studying, you think you're retaining information. If you use this as your form of studying and revision, as it's passive, you're not testing your knowledge, you're not improving your understanding, and it's just disgusting and you're getting nothing done. And so those are some of the study techniques that are very popular, controversial, used by students, and so hopefully none of you are using that reading notes as your study technique, right? But now at least you have alternatives, you know what works, and so take one thing away from this video and level up your study techniques. And by the way, if you enjoy this video, I already know that you're an ambitious student and you want to get the top grades, top university, just like I do. And I've already helped so many students get one step closer to that by helping them become the best student they can be in my program, the Student Accelerator. Reviews on screen, bam, 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 but it's really good. Check it out first thing in the description if you want to find out more. As always, I'll see you in the next time. Part 2, anyone? Leave a comment down below.